In the Hindu mythology, Shiva is considered the supreme god of creation and destruction. As the third member of the divine trinity alongside Brahma, the creator, and Vishnu, the preserver, Shiva is both an aesthetic and a householder. In this video, we will talk about the most ferocious form of Lord Shiva, Kaal Bhairava. Kaal means time and Bhairav means Lord. Hence, Kaal Bhairav stands for the Lord of Time. This is the most frightful avatar of Lord Shiva. He is the punisher of ferocious avatar who took form to ensure everything was done right. But what made Shiva to attain such a ferocious form? Well, according to the legend of Shiv Purana, once all the gods were confused as whom to call as the god of creation. To solve this mystery, they headed to Lord Shiva, but he was engrossed in deep meditation. So they turned towards Brahma and Vishnu and asked whom to call as the Lord of creation. On hearing this question, Brahma got egoistic and answered that he be called as the Lord of creation as he is the creator of this universe. He got so intimidated by the question that he asked Vishnu to worship him as he is the one to create the universe. This conversation enraged Lord Shiva and he broke his meditation. He stood there in front of Brahma and told him to ask Vishnu for forgiveness. Brahma denied and argued that he has 5 heads facing 5 directions: north, south, east, west, and upwards. It represents the 5 elements of basic creation: water, fire, solid, air, and sky. With all these qualities, he deserves to be called as the supreme god of creation. This angered Lord Shiva even more. It was at this time that furious Lord Shiva opened his third eye and a ray of light came out from his third eye to give rise to his avatar, Kaal Bhairava. This avatar has a bluish hue skin tone and his hairs are all matted. He also has a cobra on top of his head. Lord Shiva asked Kaal Bhairava to chop off Brahma's ego, and so he went off to chop the 5th head of Lord Brahma. The skull then got attached to Bhairava's left palm. And this is why Kaal Bhairav statue, which is worshipped in India, is shown holding a skull in his left hand. Bhairava had to be penalized for cutting the holiest and the scholarly Brahma's head. To pay for the biggest sin of Brahmatya, Bhairava vowed to roam as a naked beggar with a skull serving as his begging container. He continued to roam like this for 12 years until he arrived at the sacred city of Varanasi. It is then he was forgiven of his sin, and since then Kaal Bhairava guards the gates of this holy city. So you must be thinking, why Varanasi? What links Kaal Bhairav to this sacred city of Varanasi? Well, the story goes that whoever dies in Varanasi is freed from the cycle of birth and death and attains moksha or liberation. But what about the sins that the person commits during his lifetime? Even after all the terrible sins, how can that person attain moksha? Well, Kaal Bhairav ensures that the sinful people are given enough punishment before he attains death. It is said that the last 40 seconds of a person's life is very painful. The person feels like 40 scorpions stinging him while his whole life flashes in front of his eyes. And once Kaal Bhairav ensures the person has received enough punishment, he opens the gate of moksha for that person. Click on the above link to know more about the connection of death to this sacred city of Varanasi. Lord Bhairava has been portrayed as a fierce guardian of women. He is talked about as a defender of the timid, particularly females who are meek. He is generally depicted as a protector, as he shields the 8 directions of the universe. In the Lord Shiva temples, when the temple is shut, the keys are kept in front of the deity. His third eye is supposed to stand for eternal supreme wisdom. Lord Bhairava's Vahan is a dog. The animal is generally seated on one side and looks ferocious and menacing with protruding teeth and a scary expression. Feeding and caring for hungry stray dogs is believed to be an incredible way of honoring and showcasing your devotion and commitment to Lord Bhairava. It is thought that if you feed these stray dogs halwa puri, which means sweet bread, then it is likely you will overcome your problems. There are various temples in India where Lord Shiva is worshipped as Kaal Bhairava, the god of destruction. One such temple is the Kaal Bhairav temple, which is built on the banks of the Shipra river in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. This temple was built by King Bhadrasen in the 9th century as mentioned in the Skand Purana, and it was later renovated by the Maratha ruler Malhar Rao Holkar. During the Third War of Panipat, the Marathi ruler offered his turban to the Kaal Bhairav in hopes of winning the war. And after he won the war, Malhar Rao Holkar renovated the temple that we see today. The descendants of the Holkar family till today's date dedicates a turban to the Kaal Bhairav deity of the temple. The most interesting fact about the temple is that the shops outside the temple sells liquor instead of sweets. Liquor is offered to the temple deity as one of the 5 tantric ritual offerings known as Panchamakara. The pujari of the temple takes the saucer near the deity's lips, which have a slit. He tilts the plate a bit and the liquor starts disappearing. A lot of people, including the Britishers and the police commissioner of that region, tried to search for the place where the liquor goes, but nobody has found it till date. Finally, they all have accepted that Kaal Bhairava himself drinks it. Lord Shiva in the form of Kaal Bhairav is popular among the 2 main sects of Shiva worshippers, Aghoris and the Kapalikas, in order to perform their sadhana. Let us know in the comments below if you want us to make a video on the Aghoris and their ways of devotion to Lord Shiva. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe our channel for more such interesting contents.